that's one of the things that I know that you're wanting to kind of explore in the way that, okay, yeah, the weapons school right now makes patches, right? We have instructor cadre that are, the best at their platform or their mission set or whatever they do. They get students in every 6 months, and they instruct, and they get them to the point where they improve and they meet that bar and they go on. But I think recognizing that we have to improve the instructors as well, I think that's something that I know that you're trying to explore,
Yep.
or not trying to, but you are exploring on how do we continue to develop, how do we continue to not just look at it, but definitely improve the instructors.
Right. And there's a huge human performance piece in that, right? And that's a lot of it is human performance. There's also just the regular training, in that we've developed these training models that once again are, 50 multiple decades old, in these paradigms for training. And we're at the end of them. Like here at the weapons school, we are at the end of that training model. Now, granted, there's other trainings to, for command and leadership and in other experiences. So I'm not saying that this is the end of Air Force training at like the major level, but in your platform and tactical level, it's about the pinnacle. And so there's other experiences that you can continue to get better, but there's nothing deliberate beyond that. And I think we need to just stay there should be a model which is perfect. And I think eventually, unfortunately, if we don't start moving towards there as humans, we will soon be rendered insufficient, and someone else will take that model over for us. And so I would just assume that we start down that path, not to necessarily stave off any sort of future technology, because that'll all be good and take care of itself. But humans are always going to be a part of warfare. The nature of warfare ain't going to change. The character of war can change, and it certainly has already and will continue to morph. But the nature is going to be the same. It's going to be a human endeavor, and you're going to need humans involved in that. You're going to need humans on the ground, especially. So I think, for us I think we need to relook at the model that, like, once you get to this level, you're done and you're good. Like there needs to be active training models to do. Okay, you showed up at your team and there's qualifications and making sure you're certified. And there's things like, okay, you haven't done this in a while. Let's get you respun up. But the assumption is still that you're a full up round. And I think we should get away from that full up round bar mentality. And like the scale is infinity. I'm trying to just continue to make you better. That's right. So, and that never stops. You're a colonel. Every time I go out there and fly in a jet, you'd be amazed how low the expectations are for me. You'd be amazed. I'm fantastic, and I go out there and just beat up on all the young guys, but they don't expect me to. There should be expectations for me.
Yeah.
Like there should be training programs. And so, if you think I'm as bad as they all think I am, there should still be a very deliberate program to get me back up to speed, right? But that doesn't exist, to be honest. So, and some of that's by design. Like no one needs Vice and Peaches. Although I
would argue that maybe they do.
They literally asked for you. So a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting where, a lot of that probably just goes to the way the military is designed about youth, right? Because you and I are the old guys and we're 42. Like
that's not really old.
That's not even close to being old.
Right.
But we treat it like that in the military because everyone else is 18. So, and that's fine. But I think we can go further, especially in some specialties and career fields where like we owe it for our people to continue like a lifelong journey to infinity of improvement. So.
Yeah, and I think that improvement is not focused around your standard professional military education. I don't think that's what we're talking about.
No.
Sure, you have those blocks, and I'm not hating on PME, right? But there's a time and place for that, and there's a time and place for the kind of training, education, and improvement that we're talking about.
Yeah, like let's even say like your weapons qualifications, right? I'll try to frame it in there. We'll see if it's useful. It might not be, but like you go out there now and dude, I know you're still balling, so you'd be able to put mad metal down target,
Yeah.
right? So you'd be great, right? And you'd be able to qualify, and you meet all the requirements. And even if you were better than qualification, you're like, geez, like all the young guys on the range are like, wow, Peter's still old man, still got it, right? If you had the right technology to analyze things that you're doing, there's always something that you could have been doing better. And like, yes, okay, you maximize that, but you were way too slow in between trigger pulls, or yeah, you met the parameters of the course and like you won the scenario, but there were things that you were deficient at, and we could come back and look at that. And we currently don't get to that. Like we're never able to neck down to that level of precision. I think we'll have to, and I think we need that nowadays. It's just thinking of other ways and breaking down assumptions that we have. Assumptions for me in this organization is when you put that patch on your shoulder, you're the best. And so obviously we do a lot for, to reinforce being humble and approachability and credibility. But still the underlying assumption is that that person has reached the bar and that they know what's up. I would like to flip that on its head and say, yes, that's true. But for that individual, they're still on a journey. And so I think when you do that, I think it'll continue to push the ball forward.